Hi, everyone. This week, we're talking about the dirtiest word in private service. If you're a millionaire or a billionaire homeowner, and if you have household management staff, here's what no one will tell you. You have a superhero in your home. They aren't your family. They aren't your servant either. They are humans. They have needs, and they're there to serve you. And yes, they receive a paycheck, but no one talks about your staff being born with the gift of service, or what we call a service heart. Used wisely and supported fully, these people can make your home and your life easier and more fulfilling. Controlling them, allowing them to wallow in assumptions about something that pleases you, will only frustrate both sides of this relationship and can end in their burnout, which is the primary culprit in the private service industry for mental health issues like depression, anxiety, loss of self-esteem, just to name a few. The above tendencies, paired with the need for proper compensation, where domestic staff are typically improperly classified as salaried employees to avoid overtime, the lack of adequate retirement benefits and respect for personal time off, and a lack of effective communication are all recipes for short-term engagement and their burnout. The private service industry has been ignoring this balance for too long. So why should you care? Here's some food for thought. You don't need to thank them. They're getting paid, right? But what would happen if you did? You don't need to tell them that they're doing a good job. But how would it feel if you did? You don't need to pay them overtime. But what if you understood the actual cost of their time and didn't take any of it for granted? Would you use their time the same way? And would you appreciate it more? What if you gave your staff enough information to implement your request right the first time? Wouldn't everybody be happier? With less effort and less expense. What if you outlined expectations, communicated frequently, and empowered your staff to work autonomously? What would it look like if you respected their time off? Isn't it in your best interest for your staff to avoid burnout? So what's the dirtiest word in private service? Boundaries. No healthy relationship is sustainable long-term without them. It just doesn't work that way. These take a lot of work to implement, especially in existing relationships. But set up the right way, you can enable nothing short of magic. Here's what we know about boundaries. They do take a lot of work to develop and to implement in existing relationships, and often they need to leave in order to be heard. Staff isn't always going to get it right. There are going to be efforts and dumb decisions, you bet. But think about a world where you're not worried about whether the housekeeper shows up for work today. You didn't worry about whether the Lamborghini got serviced this year or not. And your family is prepared in case of natural disaster or a medical emergency. A highly trained private service professional provides benefits well beyond property management. Not only do they make your property function more efficiently, but they'll lower your risk and they'll enhance the peace and enjoyment of your home. Is there a cost to pay? Of course there is. But hire the right person and communicate with them frequently, and the benefits far outweigh the time and in the investment in cost. You might be asking yourself, why should you care if your staff has a fulfilling personal relationship and financial security? Because the lack of these pieces of their life affect their mental health, their long-term stability, leading to that burnout. And guess what? They won't tell you this. But likely what will happen is you'll notice changes in their service. They'll get short-tempered, they'll forget things, they'll get hurt, they screw something up, and you'll deem them as not doing their job. But let's be honest. The staff knows that you can call a recruiter in a heartbeat and replace them quickly. but then that doesn't serve you well at all. It's just another relationship to vet, onboard, and scrutinize, another new body in your personal space. So, what is it that Einstein says about the definition of insanity? Ideally, you employ someone who works for you long term, let's just say 5 to 10 years, as a trusted partner who works on your behalf. They know what you want, they know what it will take to maintain and improve your property values, they protect your assets and your family's privacy and security. So let's take a moment to recognize the unique skill set of a private service professional. These really don't exist in a lot of human beings. It's quite uncommon, actually. They need the experience to manage mechanical systems. That's a given. And they need to be able to keep your household staff running efficiently. Also a nice gift. But they need the emotional maturity to handle any situations that you might throw their way. And let's face it, inside your home, there are many situations that are classified as highly sensitive. It takes a unique human being to react appropriately and know when to get out while managing all of these aspects of private service. Only a few have the stamina, the skill set, and the fortitude required to sustain a career in private service. It truly is a unique role. Anyone who reaches your doorstep through a domestic staff recruiter has earned the right to be there, and respect should be paid. So even if you don't like them, maybe you have nothing in common, nothing to talk about, who cares? You have hired someone who said yes to serving you, spending their time and energy to make your life better and to take mundane burdens off of your shoulders so you can enjoy your life. Homeowners should be asking themselves whether they want a private service professional or a servant before hiring household management. Remember, when you hired them, they came to you as the expert, as a near perfect fit. We call this the service industry, but is it really? We work in a boundaryless industry. But this needs to change. When boundaries are not created and enforced, your staff will feel controlled over time and they will become resentful. Trust me. Do you want to work with someone inside of your home that feels this way? I wouldn't. So in closing, here are some brief but highly effective tips to honor the obligatory yes that you're going to hear from them to serve you and your family. Allow them your time to confirm your expectations. Honor their no. Empower them with the autonomy to make decisions on your behalf and in your absence. Allow them to spend money within a limited budget to implement your request. Protect their time off. And finally, ask yourself this: isn't this relationship based on the above parameters worth your investment? Thanks for listening.